The Canadian Card Collector here, and welcome back to day 305 of your daily deck review. And the deck that we'll take a look at today is the Light Roast playing cards. So, with no further ado, let's take a look and see what we get. Here we have the Light Roast playing cards in more of a semi-gloss, kind of like a satin kind of tuck box here, because it's in between like a shiny tuck box and a matte finish tuck box. So it still has a little bit of shine to it, more than a matte finish, but a little bit more duller than your regular shiny and glossy finish tuck boxes. So more of a satin. And then here it is more like a brown kind of like toned tuck box. You got the like lighter tannish brown for the main part of the tuck box, and some other like different shades of like browns here. And maybe a little bit of red. It's like a reddish brown for like that diamond shape there. And this deck kind of gives me like a little bit of an Aztec kind of vibe, with all of like different geometric kind of like triangle shapes there that's going on. And on the side here, you just got some like repeating like diamond pattern there, where it goes like dark, light, and then it repeats on the other side. On the bottom, you got the light. It's a light roast by Savage Mortazavi, printed in ROC by the Expert Playing Company. On the back, it's got the same as the front of the duck box, so a little sneak peek of that back design. On the top, it just got that repeating pattern, so on the edges it just repeats all the way. And then you got that kind of like little design here on the tuck flap. On the inner tuck flap, you kind of got like a little, that might be the heart pip. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll find out. If you take the cards out of the box, on the inside of the tuck box, as you can see, it's just plain white. Nothing too crazy or fancy going on inside there. And now that we took a look at the tuck box, time to take a look at the cards. And first we'll start with the back design. So, before we start, these are printed on very fine classic finish paper stock. So it's a little bit different of a stock. Always nice to test out different stocks and finishes. But here we have that like kind of like Aztec kind of design. And that's just what it makes me think of here. So you got the fully inked mirrored back design here. So the ink goes all the way to the edges, so there's no white on the back of the cards, fully inked. So that could make the cards a little bit thicker, but not always. But you're gonna got that like multi-triangle kind of shaped pattern. So in the middle here, you got like the diamond there with a little gradient, and you got the little square around it, then a bigger square, and then you got the kind of triangle with like arrows kind of like design there. And it's a mirrored design, so if you flip it over, same design in both directions. And now for the cards you get with the deck, here we got a super minimalistic Joker here. So it's pretty much just like a square, one half like an orangish red color, and then you got like the tan kind of beige color there. Also like the dark brown kind of collar there, or hat. And you just got like red question marks in the corners. And then you got the second Joker, which is this was the red Joker, that is the black Joker, because you got the black question marks, and then the color is just reversed, so the tan on this side and the red on this side. But then for the rest of the cards here, you got the ace of spades here, nice big spade there, and it has the half and half design. So like a darker half and then the lighter half. And it's more of like a geometric, kind of like more sharper square design. And that goes throughout the rest of the kind of wall, except for the half and half doesn't, but the half and half is in the corners here. But as you can see, for the rest of the spades, it's more like a hollow kind of spade. This has like the black border, same shape, just like a hollow version of it. And that, okay, no. Okay, it starts with one little line, and then you get more lines as you get through, so it has more of a gradient. It gets bigger and bigger as you go throughout the. So it starts with one line, there's like no line, one line on the two, and then you get like three lines, and then more and more as you're going up the numbers for a bigger gradient. Then you got the Jack, Queen, and King of spades. They're fully custom as well, pretty like similar to the Jokers, where they're just like that like, minimalistic kind of style. They're like that like rectangle shape. there. And you can definitely tell they're all different. There you can tell that's the king, 'cause it has the crown. The queen has a little tiara, and that's the jack there. Maybe it's supposed to look like a lumberjack or something. Not entirely sure. And you got the diamonds here with the half and half design, half light and half dark. And it has a little line in the middle. And then the same concept has that lines that kind of get like bigger, more and more lines as you go up the numbers for a nice little gradient. And then the Jack, Queen, and King of diamonds, fully custom once again in that kind of more rectangle shape there. And they have orange hair for the diamonds. And then you get to the Jack, Queen, and King of clubs. And you got that minimalistic kind of style again. They have a brown hairstyles for the clubs. And then the clubs have that kind of same like gradient design. And there's like a square club, but you can tell because of the little cutouts. You can see the different like style of the clubs here, and they have those lines. So they get like small, and then it gets bigger when it gets up to the 10. And then you got the half and half design for the aces clubs. And then lastly, the hearts, Jack, Queen, and King of hearts here. And they have like a black hairstyle. Well, except for the King of hearts. It has like a gray hairstyle. But there's still a minimalistic design there. And then you get the hearts here. It still has that kind of gradient and like the square shape to it. For some reason I'm fumbling these cards. You got that same gradient that goes throughout the rest of them. Then the same half and half design, like the half dark and half light for the heart. But now that we took a look at the cards, I'm test the handling. And first we'll start with the springs. And I gotta say, whatever finish they use, like the stock and finish, like that classic finish paper stock, is definitely a little bit of a thicker stock. So if you like thick cards, then this is definitely a deck for you. They still spring pretty nice, but you have to definitely like squeeze them and like put a lot of pressure into getting them to flex. But once you get them to flex, they spring pretty decent. Not like super smooth, like they're definitely not the smoothest, but they're still pretty smooth. Well, they spring okay, they're a little bit slippery from time to time. So decent springs. Just a little stiff when they're definitely stiff, like a stiff stock. So now on to the fans. Well, as you can see, they spread pretty evenly. You can see most of the pips and numbers. There's no real stickiness or clumpiness to the cards. Spread pretty evenly. Now on to the Pharaoh. As you can see, they filled okay. I did have to like slightly shuffle and push them together. And then unlocked me. Okay, nothing great. Now for a giant fan of that back design. Now for that reverse Pharaoh. And the reverse Pharaoh's a little bit more smoother, like they went interlocked away a lot nicer. Now for a giant fan of the faces. Now time for the riffle shuffle or bridge shuffle. You definitely have to break them in a little bit. They're maybe a little bit clumpy. Not because it's a bad stock, but it's just because the cards are a little bit thicker. So it's more like a thicker style of like rifle shovel. But the more you do, the more smoother they'll like break in and get more smooth. Like they're definitely more smoother now than the first one I did. And now time for a few packet cuts. Well, you had some pretty decent packet cuts, nothing like overly crazy. Yeah, they were a little bit slippery, like the cards want this more sliding in my hands a little bit. Nothing like too crazy though. So it's still pretty good packet cuts. Like I say, most decks can packet cut pretty much the same, unless it's like a mini deck or like a bridge size, because it's a little bit harder to packet cut. Or any regular size, packet cut's pretty much the same. It's just the feel of the cards in the hands. Now it's time for that one-handed cut or Shelley cut. And the cards are a little bit slidey still. And now onto the springs. Okay, the cards are definitely a little bit like less like slippery when they're back designed up. They just want to like slide out of my hands. They got definitely less grip. But we'll try them face up. Oh yeah, you definitely got a little bit more grip. You're still a little bit slidey, but definitely a lot more grip. So when they're like face up, you definitely got all the grip for nice dribbles, nice and smooth. And when they're back design up, you can still dribble them, but they will definitely slide out of your hands a lot more. But it's still pretty smooth when you actually get some good ones. And now time for that spread fan. And lastly, spread the cards on the table. Well, I say it's a pretty nice custom deck of cards here. Got that nice kind of like Aztec vibe. That's what I think it is. That's what it reminds me of. I'm just gonna keep saying that. Reminds me of an Aztec kind of vibe, which I kind of like. Nice simplistic. It's nothing like too crazy. There's a little bit going on, but still simplistic at the same time. There, and in all those brown kind of colorways, and then for the faces, they're pretty nice and simplistic. Still fully custom. So you got those kind of more square style designed pips and suits, which is pretty nice with the half and half design. And I like the kind of style they went for. Looks like all the numbers they have these different lines, and the higher up the number you get, like the larger number, the more lines and gradient that you get to the numbers there, like the suits and like the pips, which looks pretty nice. There, and then you got the court cards, which are that minimalistic kind of like little square design, full custom, but like still minimalistic at the same time. Not a lot of detail to them, which is pretty nice. So overall, pretty nice design. It's nothing like super crazy going on, but still pretty nice. And for that handling, they handle pretty decent. It definitely has a different stock and feel to the cards. Definitely have to get used to these cards because they're definitely a lot like thicker of a stock. So if you like thick decks, then this is a deck for you. But if you're not a fan of thick decks, then I wouldn't recommend this. But they're still pretty smooth. Like they're nice and they're definitely smooth. Like there's definitely no stickiness to them at all. So they work super smoothly. Like they got like so smooth. Like they're definitely smooth for. But overall, they still handle fantastic. So no issues there. So fantastic handling and a pretty decent design. Nothing like overly crazy going on with the design. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. This has been day 305 of a Daily Deck Review. This has been the Light Roast playing cards by Savage Mortazavi, and I'm the Canadian Card Collector signing out. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.